The 2015 Nissan Juke. When Nissan introduced the Juke in 2011, its hip styling in a rather bland segment made it a near-immediate hit. To this date, it is still the swan in a class filled to the brim with ugly ducklings. Add to that a base turbocharged engine that pumps out 188 horsepower and 177 pound-feet of twist that allows it to hit 60 miles per hour in just 7.3 seconds, even with a cruddy CVT backing it up. That was 2011, and now we are moving into the 2015 model year, so it is time for a mid-cycle refresh. And a refresh the Juke received, as Nissan unveiled the Euro-spec Juke at the Geneva Motor Show this week. Sure, a few of the engines won't make their way to the US, but we did get a nice look at how Nissan added in its new design language and revised the only US-bound engine, the 1.6 DIG-T. Overall, the refresh is, well, refreshing. The Juke looks like a whole new car, despite sharing most of its sheet metal with the 2014 model. Unfortunately, the Juke's interior is largely carried over, but the interior was never a complaint, except for cargo space, which was addressed with this refresh. Click past the jump to read more about the 2015 Nissan Juke. Exterior. The revisions to the 2015 Juke are far from revolutionary, as Nissan did not want to. Up front, the new Juke gets revised headlights to match the rest of the Nissan lineup. Completely undermined the Juke's design language, but it knew the model was due for a refresh. Up front, the new Juke gets revised headlights to match the rest of the Nissan lineup. These restyled headlights include new high-intensity LED running lights and xenon headlight bulbs. The changes continue with the front bumper becoming more flush with the grille and an all-new insert under the bumper to give it a sportier look. On the sides, the only changes are new turn signals integrated with the side view mirrors and new cameras for the available all-around monitor. Around back, the boomerang-style taillights received a light revision and a new LED lighting system. The rear bumper also got a healthy dose of new styling with faux, angular air outlets, round reflectors and a new under-bumper insert that adds a little sportiness to the compact crossover. Rounding out the changes are three new exterior colors: sunlight yellow metallic, ink blue metallic and solid red, and a new palette of wheels to choose from in 16, 17 and 18-inch sizes. New headlights in detail. Interior. When you open the rear hatch, you will notice the biggest change to the interior. Not much changes on the inside of the new Juke, with exception of the new base gray hue that gives the cabin a more techy feel. Buyers can also opt for interior packages that add hints of red, white, black or bright yellow. When you open the rear hatch, you will notice the biggest change to the interior, as Nissan restyled the cargo area's layout to enhance its cargo capacity. In two-wheel drive models, the trunk space actually grows by 40% to 354 liters (12.5 cubic feet) with the seats up. Nissan also revised the rear folding seat to allow it to fold completely flat, adding even more cargo space. A new two-stage floor adds even more versatility to the cargo hull. Yellow accents in detail. Cargo area. Drivetrain. Since Nissan has only revealed the European specifications, I'll have to decipher what will make it to the US and what likely will not. The engine that I can assure you will not make its way to the US is the 1.5-liter DCI diesel, which puts down 81 kilowatts, 81 horsepower, and 260 newton-meters, 191 pound-feet of torque. This diesel engine is a direct carryover from last year's model. An all-new 1.2-liter DIG-T gasoline engine replaces the old 117 PS, 1.6-liter engine in Europe, and could possibly find its way into the US as an entry-level engine, but it is unlikely. This small displacement, turbocharged engine puts down a respectable 85 kilowatts, 113 horsepower, and 190 newton-meters, 140 pound-feet of torque. This tiny engine uses auto start-stop technology to reduce CO2 emissions to just 126 grams per kilometer and reduce fuel consumption to just 5.5 liters, 100 kilometers, 43 mpg. That accounts for a 13 grams per kilometer drop in emissions and a 2.2 liter per kilometer, 13 mpg drop in fuel consumption from the 1.6 liter it replaces. The engine that I am sure will be the only one in the American lineup is the 1.6-liter Dig-T, which Nissan revised with higher compression, reduced internal friction and a cooled exhaust gas recirculation system. This amounts out to 140 kilowatts, 188 horsepower, the same as last year's 1.6 Dig-T, and a peak torque at lower engine revs. The real changes to this engine show in terms of its emissions, as this engine now puts out just 139 grams per kilometer of CO2, a 20 grams drop from last year's model. There is no mention of the standard gearbox, but I am willing to bet that the 5-cog manual will carry over from last year. Optionally, buyers can opt for a 6-speed manual on the 1.6 Dig-T engine or a new Xtronic transmission for increased fuel economy. We'll bring you all of the American specifications when Nissan releases them. Prices. There is no information on pricing yet. Competition. Kia Soul. When I had my crack at the 2014 Kia Soul, I noted that its cabin was downright. In a class of underpowered cubes, the Juke is the obvious winner. Gorgeous, but the outside is still hideous. The Nissan certainly trumps it in outward looks, but the Kia still has its number as useful interior. Unfortunately for Kia, the Soul's rear seats do not fold flat, leading to a tougher time loading cargo. The Soul also loses steam in the power department, as the Juke's 188 pony 4-pot crushes its most powerful offering by 24 horsepower. I am sure Kia will soon respond with a turbo version of the Soul, but that has yet to happen. Scion XB. There's something about the compact crossover realm that makes automakers lose all concept of design, as the Scion XB is even uglier than the Soul. To boot, the XB's cabin is very cheap and dated, and its 158 horsepower engine is nothing to write home about. Hyundai Tucson. Now, if you're looking for something that is not a cube on wheels, and are willing to spend more money and go a little larger, then you can look into the Hyundai Tucson. In 2014, the Tucson checked in about $2,000 more than the Juke, but it featured a larger cabin, 25.7 cubic feet of cargo room and an optional, 182 horsepower engine. Conclusion. In a class of underpowered cubes, the Juke is the obvious winner. It has all the style that others in its class lack, and in order to match its styling, you have to move up into a pricier segment of crossovers. The Juke does, however, still offer little cargo room with the seats up and not much more with the seats folded. On the other hand, it performs really well. Love it Nice refresh that gives it the same language as other Nissan's lower emissions from He 1.6 Dig-T engine without reduced power, revised cargo area for 40% more room. Leave it still has a tiny cargo area, nothing on the Nismo version underpowered 1.2 Dig-T and 1.6 DCI engines.
If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.